And good morning, everyone. It's great to see you here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on campus very soon. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Just give me 1 second. All right, there we go. I hope everyone could see my screen. Right? Can you confirm? Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right. So I actually see some questions about academic training and work authorizations already in the chat. So we're gonna cover all of that in my presentation today. Working in the US for international students. It is a big topic and it is very interesting. So we're gonna talk about that. We started with on-campus employment. So first of all, I'd like to mention employment for international students. Generally, it is divided into two big categories, on-campus and off-campus. In terms of on-campus employment, the basics of on-campus employment for F1 students, you actually do not need any additional work authorization if you want to work on campus. But for J1 students, you do. I'm going to cover what you need in the following slides. Employment, on-campus employment is limited to 20 hours per week while school is in session in spring and the fall semesters. And during breaks, there's no limit. You could work full time, except if you are coming in the summer, but that apparently doesn't apply to you. Unless summer is your first or final semester, then it is capped at 20 hours. If you are applying for a change of status, then you have to wait until your F1 status gets approved to be able to work on campus. When can you start your on-campus employment? For F1 student, 30 days before your program start date. That's actually the earliest you are able to arrive in the US as an F1 student. For J1 student, it is after the start date on your DS 2019. During days of authorization, the reason why we have this indication here is because J1 students have to apply for work authorization to be able to work on campus. I4J transfer student, well, technically you are able to work on campus at UC Berkeley as long as your CVIS record is transferred to us. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about J1 students work on campus. You're going to apply for work authorization through this link on BIO's website. Keep in mind that typically, BIO has a 5 business days processing time for the majority of the requests. If you want to start your employment, make sure that the starting date is in at least 5 days later. You're going to submit a on-campus employment request form to BIO, and BIO will review everything and process your request and email the signed form back to you. And that will be your proof of working. And then, well, after BIO approves that, you can use BIO's form and, BIO's form is not required. You can use your employer's letter along with other required documents to apply for Social Security number. I know a lot of students have questions about Social Security number. I'm going to cover that later. If you want to know more information about on-campus employment and how to find a job on campus, you can check out this link. Off-campus employment. The basics of off-campus employment. It's not like you can do anything you want off campus. It has to be directly related to your major for both F and J students. You have to receive your work authorization before beginning employment. For J1 students, that's academic training. For F1 students, that's either CPT or OPT. I'm going to talk about F1 students off-campus work authorization first. For F1 students, there are, I'll say two types of off-campus work authorization: pre while you're still enrolled at school, pre-completion, post-completion, after you have completed your program. Pre-completion, the work authorization is called CPT. This is while you are still enrolled at the UC Berkeley and before your graduation. This work authorization is issued from Bio. You're going to submit your request form to Bio. And do you need a job offer to apply for this type of work authorization? Yes, you do. You need to secure a job. How many hours can you work? This is actually similar to on-campus employment. During spring and the fall semesters, you are only allowed to work part-time, up to 20 hours, while school is in break full-time or no limit. Is self-employment allowed for CPT? Unfortunately, no. Unpaid job, can it be CPT? Yes, it can. Can I work for multiple employers? Yes, you can. But keep in mind, you will have to file CPT request for every individual employer, and the total hours has to below 20 hours in spring and the fall, but in summer that is okay. Well, post completion work authorization, off-campus work authorization for F1 students are OPT and STEM OPT. The reason why I kind of combine them together is because STEM OPT is actually an extension of your OPT. If you are in STEM, the major, you may potentially apply for additional 24-month of work authorization extension. OPT, it's a work authorization you have to apply through USCIS. That's a US government agent. So currently, because the processing time actually subject to change. So right now, I actually just checked the USCIS website, the processing time. For OPT and STEM, the processing time is 4 months currently for 80% of the cases. That means like some cases could be processed sooner and some maybe like it may take like even longer than 4 months. Do you need a job offer to apply for OPT? No. For your first 12 months, the initial 12 months of OPT, you don't need a job offer. But for STEM, well, by the time you apply for STEM, you are actually on OPT. You are hired. You already have a job. What is the hour limits for OPT and STEM? Minimum 20 hours. So you have to work either 20 and up, cannot be less than 20 hours. Is self-employment allowed for OPT? Yes, but not for STEM. Unpaid employment is allowed for OPT as well, but not for STEM. Can you work for more than one employer on OPT? Yes, STEM as well. So yes to both OPT and STEM. But like for STEM, it has to be your employer has to meet the STEM requirement. I'm gonna talk about a little bit detail on CPT. The basic of CPT, as I just mentioned, it is a pre-graduation off-campus employment. Your work authorization is actually your I-20. If you have your I-20 like in your hand, you can double check the second page of your current I-20. It should be blank. It's no like employer's information on the second page. But if you apply for CPT and get approved, your employer's information should be indicated on the second page of your I-20, and that I-20 is your CPT I-20, and that is your work authorization. Eligibility for CPT. So basically, you will have to complete 2 full-time semesters in active F1 students. What some specific programs, they may have like the CPT internship, not CPT, internship designed into their program. So they may be able to apply for CPT earlier, like before they have already completed 2 semesters. You have to secure a job that is related to your major. Authorization, CPT is approved on a semester basis. Let's say you got a CPT authorization in the spring semester and your employer is willing to extend your employment with them in the summer. That's good. You can do it. but make sure you file another CPT in the summer. Student must receive authorization before beginning employment. That applies to like except on-campus employment. That applies to all of off-campus employment. Before start working, make sure you already have the work authorization in hand. If you are unsure whether or not a work authorization is needed, make sure to come to bio to check with us. How many hours can I work? This is very important. That's why we iterated a lot in this presentation. In the fall and the spring semester, make sure you work, like the cap is 20 hours. Don't work over 20 hours. While school is in break, such as summer vacation, no limit, unless summer is your first or final semester. Some students may graduate in summer. Then that particular summer will be considered a regular semester instead of your annual vacation. That means in that summer, you can only work part-time. Did I skip a page? Oh, no. Okay. CPT application process. Secure a job. Make sure you got the job offer. And then you complete the CPT request form with your advisor, because your advisor will need to sign on the form and confirm that what you are doing in this job that is related to your major. You enroll in a CPT class. After you have done all of this, and you email all the documents, your CPT form with your advisor signature, your class enrollment proof, your job offer letter, email all of them to bio for further processing. Remember how many business days we have, like the processing time? 5. Yeah. And right after bio approves your process and approves your CPT, we will email you the CPT I-20, and that is your proof of work authorization. Then enjoy your work. A separate application is required for each additional internship or job. As I just mentioned, you are allowed to work for multiple employers on CPT, but make sure you file like a CPT for every individual employer. More detailed information, check our website. OPT, that's another type of off-campus work authorization. The basics of OPT, it is a post-graduation work authorization, and usually that is 12 months. Eligibility, graduating upon completion of your program, and you have, so you have to be in full-time, you have to complete full-time semesters for at least 2, No previous OPT for same degree level. OPT is only granted once for higher degree level. Type of work related to your major. That's the key. At least 20 hours per week. It can be paid or unpaid. That's the initial 12-month OPT. For students who are in STEM, the major, you are going to apply for the initial 12-month OPT first, and then STEM. When can you start? Once you have received your EAD card, that is your work authorization, then you are able to start working. And you do have some reporting requirements to make while you are on OPT. To check more detailed information about OPT and STEM, I'm not going to talk about STEM today because it's similar to OPT, but if you're interested in like what STEM is and how to apply, feel free to check our website. Here is information about J1 student, that's academic training. The basic of academic training is that is the off-campus work authorization for J1 student pre and post completion. Your proof of authorization is your DS 2019. The employment information will be indicated on your DS 2019. Authorization is required for each job, for each employer. Again, that means you are able to work for multiple employers, but file academic training for every individual employer. Type of work, key, related to a major. When you can start, after you have received your DS 2019 with your work authorization. Make sure you submit the application before start working. AT eligibility, you must be enrolled in a J1 degree seeking program, or you are an EAP student. You must have completed one semester. You must have a job offer, and the job has to be related to your major. So throughout your entire academic training, you have to have a J1 visa qualified health insurance. How many hours? That's the same. 20 spring and fall, summer, no limit. But for post completion, after you have completed your program, for post completion, minimum 20 hours. It has to be either 20 or more. Academic training application process, secure a job, complete the academic training application form, request approval from your academic advisor, submit your documents to bio. Obtain your DS 2019 and academic training verification letter, begin working. Post completion OPT will include, post completion academic training will include application fee and proof of funds. All right, so well, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about Social Security number. We're kind of running out of time. Social Security number is a tax number. That is not your work authorization. Your work authorization is your CPT, your AT, or OPT. Do I need Social Security number to begin work? Theoretically, you don't. You need your work authorization to begin working, but not your Social Security number. But like a lot of employers, they want you to have your Social Security number because they want to properly pay you. Who needs a Social Security number? J1 student, if you're receiving a fellowship or stipend from the university, you need a Social Security number. If you work on campus or off campus, you do need a Social Security number. For F1 student, if you work on campus or off campus, you do need Social Security number. If an F1 student, you get like some kind of fellowship, but you don't like present any services, you don't need a Social Security number, but you're gonna apply for replacement of the Social Security number. It's called IT number. All the detailed information you can check on BIOS website. Again, I think Jeremiah has already mentioned this department at Berkeley is Berkeley Career Engagement Center. If you have any career related questions, you can reach out to their department. They offer workshops to help you to navigate your career planning, and they have a specific like a designated advisor, just serve international students. Her name is Jing Han. You can make appointment with her. And the Handshake is a very powerful platform that the career engagement using to help students to navigate their like a career searching. Yeah, I think that is all for my presentation today.